Welcome to Trojan Arena. I'm Gavin Baxley, and we're in a room that is filled with Sun Belt Championship trophies, all kinds of different tournaments, two of which you have been a part of, Kerrington, Kiel.
Yes, sir.
You have managed to have a lot of success so far in your career. Now you go into this next season. A lot of change has happened. How do you try to kind of build off of the success you've experienced so far?
Just knowing what it looks like throughout the day, what a championship practice looks like, just trying to make sure that, I incorporate that into our new practices now. Obviously, it's a whole new different landscape of Troy basketball, but, still just bringing the championship edge that I have to the team, always trying to help us.
Let's talk about that different landscape for a minute. Obviously, a lot of turnover, both with the roster and the staff. A lot of guys from last year's team leave with the departure of Coach Cross. Adam Howard comes in as the new head coach. I know he had a conversation with all of you guys back in the spring. What was that conversation like, and what made you commit to staying here at Troy and trying to lead this team to another championship?
Well, obviously, Troy is a big part of, myself. I feel like I've had great experiences with the people in Troy, so, obviously that played a big part. And just with Coach Howard, the first conversation he had with me was, has anybody ever three-peated? And I was like, well, I don't know, Coach. He said, well, do you want to be a part of that? And, from that moment on, it kind of just stuck with me because, I don't want it to be like, obviously, you have a new coach. You go through rebuild years. Coach Howard wants to come in and win. And that's what I want to do at the end of the day. I want to win. So, he welcomed me with open arms. He told me that we were going to get some great guys in. Obviously, we did that. And, he's just a man of his word. So, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, we go out there and win. That's the goal.
And he builds a staff and a roster around that as well. A lot of new guys. What has the relationship been like with these guys, and how have you kind of been able to play a factor in them becoming a core part of this team?
It's just Coach surrounded us with great guys, teammates and coaching staff-wise. So, it wasn't hard for us to, kind of gel. We go out to eat after every practice. We play the game with each other. Our coaches, they're very, open-armed people. Everybody's welcome to the new environment. So, Coach did a great job, just surrounded us with great people to, help us get to our goal.
I imagine that being here for the summer and doing a lot of work right now is definitely helping to grow those connections a little bit.
Definitely. Summer work is all about, just trying to get together, be cohesive, see what everybody can do. Obviously everybody's not going to be the best shooter of the team. Obviously everybody's not going to be, the best ball handler. But just to kind of get a feel for each other with the short time that we have, seeing what everybody can do, playing with each other, just growing as one cohesive unit. That's mainly what the summer is about.
You're in the quote-unquote off season, but we both know that there's not really an off season for a student athlete. So walk me through kind of what your day-to-day looks like right now as you go into the summer, and then now you'll be getting ready for the fall soon.
Yeah, day-to-day, we wake up, we get a good lift in with our strength and conditioning coach, Coach David Land. He's helped us, grow our bodies, kind of help us with the calories aspect of it, making sure we have everything in our diets, making sure that if we want to gain weight, we gain weight, lose weight, gain muscle, So that's the first thing that we normally do throughout the day. That's early. Then we'll come in. We'll have a great practice, starting off with lots of shooting. Getting a feel for the ball. Then we're going to our defensive stuff, making sure everything goes to plan on that. Obviously it's a new coaching staff, new guys. Everybody's coming in, so you got to take time to really break things down a little bit. And I believe our coaches has really done that. And then after that, we'll go into a couple of live play, get into a little 5-on-5 action if we can. Throw in a couple of sets every now and then, just so everybody can get familiar with it. Then, after that, we'll probably do that for a couple of minutes. Then we'll probably go into another set, just trying to build onto what we have, a couple of 5-on-0 offensive stuff. Then practice normally ends around that time. Then after that, everybody comes back, try to get shots in. We even shoot after practice sometimes. So we'll shoot after practice, go fuel up, take a nap if need be, come back to the gym around 4, 5, 6, whatever works for everybody, get more shots up. So, summer is a great time to develop your game. As a basketball player, you can't take days off. Basketball is a repetition sport, so you got to be able to do it constantly, get a lot of reps, get a lot of shots up. So it's a busy day, but that's what we signed up for. So it doesn't really look like it's work. It looks like we're just going out there and having fun.
I'd have to get a nap in through all that.
Definitely.
As well,
trust me, I get my nap in every day. I have to.
It feels like it's kind of the sometimes the summer can be sort of the harder part of the training, right? Because you're going through all this conditioning stuff. How does that kind of translate when you get into the fall and then into basketball season of, you've already kind of dealt with the hardest part of the training cycle, really?
Yeah, honestly, the hardest part is just coming from the little couple of weeks that we have off to getting back into shape. That's probably the hardest part. So once you get through that, and now I'm not gonna say that you're coasting, but now you're just, you're building on from that. So now every day you get a little bit more conditioned, get in a little bit better, more shape than you were the day before. So I mean, obviously summer is where all the hard work is done, but hey, it's basketball. We love it, so we don't look at it like it's like we're working. We just look like, hey man, we having fun. We got to do this to have fun, So
you've had a few years under your belt now. You go into this season more in a potential leadership role with a lot of these new guys. Is there kind of a message that you try to put out and represent with a lot of these new guys? Yeah,
I mean, obviously we have to get a feel for everything, of everybody. If one main thing being a leader, you got to know what the type of guys that you have. You know what I'm saying? Some guys you can say, hey, let's go. Some guys you got to pat them on the butt, say good job, keep going. Some guys you can really get on them. So honestly, it's just taking the time out to really understand who you're working with. Myself, I just try to be, as vocal as I can. Try to lead by example. We got a couple of freshmen in telling those guys, hey, we got to talk. This is college basketball. You got to be able to talk if you're in the back line of the defense. Even with guys that's already been here, hey, keep your head up. Next shot, everything's going to be okay. So just being more vocal, showing guys how it's done, and I feel like it's working for us for sure.
And what would you say is kind of, with Coach Howard, the focus for him in this first campaign with you guys, obviously trying to reach that three-peat, like you mentioned? How does he really try to focus in and get that job done in the summer now and then translating later on?
I mean, obviously it's hard. He just had, we just had a talk the other day. He was saying if any coach says that their team is in the shape that they need to be, then they're probably lying, because, I mean, it's summertime. We're probably in week 6 or 7 right now. So I mean, obviously, stop playing. Obviously, it's hard for us to say what we're going to be like. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard for him to get us back into the mindset of, okay, we're going to win a championship. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're going for. So obviously, coaches is really trying to make sure that we're just stepping stones to where we need to be. Obviously, we're not going to be there in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, but just making sure we constantly take steps to where we're trying to get to.
And with all the stuff that you're doing in the summer right now, what's like your favorite part of the training process right now? Because you get a lot of everything, especially in this portion of it.
Yeah, my favorite part so far, it'll have to be just the nights that I come back and get into the gym myself. Basketball, you can ask pretty much every basketball player. The sound that the ball makes in an empty gym, when there's just nobody with you, you probably have 2 or 3 guys that's rebounding, helping you pass. Like that's a main focus of all of us. You know what I'm saying? So just hearing the ball go through the net constantly, the repetition of feeling how your shot should feel, and you constantly starting to feel that. Now you're seeing it develop a little bit more in practice. Now everything's just starting to flow. You're starting to get it together. Now you're saying, okay, well, all these long hours are starting to pay off a little bit. You start to feel good about your shot, feel good about the defense, feel good about knowing the plays on offense. So just that time coming back in with our GAs, I feel like, man, that's the most fun that I have for sure.
I know you talked about being able to kind of connect with the guys. You mentioned video games and dinners. In the little bit of free time that you have, what do you try to do with the guys to really be able to connect it? Is the video games your favorite part, where you kind of really emphasize getting to grow and build that chemistry?
Probably not the video games. It's the most important part, but I'll probably say just the going to talk and dinner, because you got to still understand we're still people at the end of the day. We're basketball players, but we don't want that to be our identity. So just understanding who they are as people, I mean, that's great by doing that, by just having, lunch every now and then, going out to lunch, just being able to have conversation with them. Everybody can pick each other's brain on certain topics, so just being together. It's not really just about playing the game. Obviously, playing the game is fun, but just having the conversations to just be able to understand the guys, so I'd probably say that's probably the most important.
Give me a little bit of a rundown on a lot of these new guys of, who can be the most fun, what kind of impact a lot of these guys bring individually, because I imagine you get a lot of different characters from a lot of different places as well, and that can always make things really interesting.
Yeah, right now I'll probably say Robert Davis Jr. He's probably one of our most energetic guys. He's very outgoing, always making sure that the energy is high at practice. He makes sure that everybody's awake. We have Caden Diggs, he's coming in. He's going to be a good guy for us. He's kind of one of those silent guys that took a minute to open up, but once he opened up, everybody can understand, okay, yeah, Diggs is a great guy. We got JaCoy Hutchinson coming in, PG. He's a great guy. He's more of a silent killer, He has a great personality, knowing him off the court. We just got one of our guys, Sam, in. He just came in probably about a week ago, so we're still trying to figure things out with Sam. Obviously know what buttons we can push to make him better, but he's still a great person at the end of the day, always making everyone laugh. So, we have a lot of guys that are people person. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of easy for us to be able to start to, grow a connection with each other, for sure.
Looking into this season now, with this new group all put together, you're early in the training process, but what is going to be the identity of this Troy basketball team?
We're going to be fun to watch, man. I really think we're going to be fun to watch. Coach says this all the time. We're going to be a shooting team for sure. So we have a lot of guys that can really space the floor out. We got a lot of guys that can, attack the goal when need be. And we got a couple of guys that can get 2 feet in the paint. They can just ready to play off 2 feet, either to spray out or to finish around the cup. So I really think that we're going to be very fun to watch. A lot of shots, a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of 3-3-3 going up, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be fun for sure to watch.
I'm excited for the fun and hopefully a three-peat coming up soon.
Yes, sir. That's the goal, man. That's the goal.
And Kerrington, Kiel, taking the time to join me here. I appreciate you taking the time. Excited for this basketball season coming up in November. For Kerrington Kiel, I'm Gavin Baxley. Thank you for joining us.